Happy Monstering! And welcome to another episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything to do with My Singing Monsters. We are your hosts, Monster Handler Matt.
And Monster Handler Eric.
Hi, Eric. It's been, I want to say a couple of episodes since I've seen you, and here you are, you're back again. Isn't this
very
nice?
Exciting. And what an episode to be back on.
Oh, yes, episode 68 of My Singing Monsters Live. Very exciting. We've got lots of exciting stuff to show you this week, lots of exciting stuff to talk about. But first, let's do the housekeeping stuff that we do always at the beginning of every episode of My Singing Monsters Live. And let's talk about one of the main reasons that you're here, other than to see us lovely gents, is to potentially win the giveaway. Every episode of My Singing Monsters Live, there's a giveaway that we do that is plucked from the viewers who are watching the episode live. Eric, and how do they become eligible to win this?
See if I remember this.
Yes, it's been a while.
Weeks away.
That's right, weeks.
I believe all you have to do is in the chat, you type !giveaway.
That's right. It's that simple.
You'll be entered automatically. You don't have to do anything else. Stick around till the end of the show when we draw the winner. If it's your name, please put your BBB ID/friend code into the chat so that we can get you your prize. And that prize, of course, as we always announce at the beginning of the show...
no, we don't. We always wait until the end,
Eric. Oh, that's right.
I
almost spoiled it.
End. You got to build the anticipation, the suspense of what it could possibly be.
Now, could there be some hints throughout? Who knows?
There could possibly be some hints throughout. Bah, indeed, my friend. But before we too much, let's go back in time and take a look and see what happened on this day in Monster World history. So, on this day, in 2018, the Congo was discovered for the first time in Dawn of Fire. Available on both the continent and Space Island. Ooh. And, Congo. A lovely little monster. Love that monster dearly. And such a cute monster perched atop its shell there in Dawn of Fire. Also, on this day, in 2019, just last year, the revived Galvana was unearthed from the wreckage of Celestial Island in My Singing Monsters.
Another monster on top of part of its iconic form.
That's what combines the two. I'm glad that you were picking up what I was putting down there. It took me a while to articulate it, but it happened at the end of the day, and that's all that matters. Fast forwarding to today in Monster World history, it's happening in real time.
Right now.
We've got several promotions happening this weekend. We've got the Seeing Red promotion, which is featured red rare ethereals available to buy or breed on Ethereal Island, and those are two monsters that are eligible for this promotion. That's Rare Nebulob and Rare Bellofish. Both ruddy monsters, both red-hued. Also, we've got our very popular Hole-in-One promotion where all of the dipsters on all islands are discounted down to one solitary key. Why is this exciting and interesting? Well, this is the first time we've run the Hole-in-One promotion since adding dipsters to Fire Oasis.
No better time than now.
There's no better time than now to stock up on your dipsters. Gotta love those dipsters. And there's 33% more in diamond packs and 66% more in the featured pack, the Diamond Dumpster, in My Singing Monsters. Now, additionally, because we're running here up to the very end of February in the human world, of course, this is one of your last opportunities. There's both today and tomorrow to take advantage of our Lucky Star promotion and get 20% off Furnos on Celestial Island. The Celestial of Fire only available at that discounted price for a few more days. You know what's exciting and interesting? This is the first February, in human world reckoning, of course, that we've had a leap year, so Furnos gets to stick around for an extra day.
Oh, this is the first time for that.
Isn't that lovely?
That's very exciting.
Isn't that
Furnos
charming?
Must be thrilled.
But also a punk, if you remember correctly.
Of course.
It was transitioning over to Dawn of Fire, an exciting release today, the Prismatic Mamet. All 6 colors of the Prismatic Mamet available in the Prism Gate on both Party Island and Cave Island. And this is quite an interesting prismatic, a lot of different head configurations going on there, and you know it's normally a dense fur has been transitioned into this sort of volcanic hardened sort of it's playing with its sort of elemental alignment there, right? It was cold, now it's sort of fiery.
Quite the shift.
Yes, it makes and in keeping with the fiery theme, we've got 50% off the bakery in Dawn of Fire, a a structure that, of course, sometimes makes use of heat
Yes,
and fire.
that's right.
And 66% more in the featured packs, the bowl of coins and the pile of diamonds. And as is the case in My Singing Monsters, so is it as well in Dawn of Fire. This is your last call to buy the Furnos on Starhenge in Dawn of Fire, or to finish up the Core of Flame star chart and get it for free by completing that star chart and having it land upon your Starhenge. So,
Dawn of Fire Furnos, less of a punk.
Less of a punk.
More mature.
More seasoned. Older, perhaps a bit more mature.
That's right.
I can't help but notice that with all of the red things going on and the conclusion of the sort of fire month, that your
That's right.
your clothing selection that you always wear is especially apt.
Well,
today.
I always wear it just in case, it's a promotion. I just wanted to be ready for this day.
Now's the time that you can finally, all that patience is paid off. Yeah, you killed it.
Good thing I didn't wear a different shirt just today.
Yes, that would have been a calamity. But you know what's not a calamity?
What's that?
Is our next segment that's called Quick Questions. And in this segment, we answer questions from the community that are posed to us, the Monster Handlers, and you can ask the questions. I will answer the questions to the best of my ability.
That sounds
all right. I'm ready. You got them queued up?
Oh, I've got some ready.
We got Monster Handler Sydney today, who's operating the camera and helping out in the chat. So everyone say hi, Sydney.
Hello.
Oh, there she is, somewhere.
Speaking of hellos from people, why don't we jump right into a question straight from Abbott Shark 10?
Yes.
Whoa! Does that red one, Prismatic Mamet,
Yes.
spell out music and monstrous?
Abed, we can't pull any fast ones on you. Yes, in fact, if you are fluent in the monstrous alphabet, if you know all of the different glyphs and how they correspond to the Roman alphabet in the human world, yes, that is exactly what it says on the red Prismatic Mammoths.
They read the red
They
Prismatic.
read the red correctly. Forget it.
At Explorer Monster asks, what are the landscapes like on the various islands? What sort of natural landmarks would there be? An example, earthly example.
Sure.
Grand Canyon, Mount Fuji, or Redwood Forest. They're on the
they're definitely on theme. There are lots of such geographical landmarks across the various islands of the monster world. As we've previously discussed, the size of the islands in-game, not necessarily totally to scale or accurate representations of them in actuality. They're actually quite a bit bigger, but it's sort of a way to represent their look and feel in a game context.
The videos, I think, do a good job of showing
Yes,
a different
the
perspective.
scale.
Sometimes you see mountains on Cold Island or nice beaches.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, especially as far as the natural islands are confirmed, if a geographical feature shares some quality or is caused by a given element in the human world, it's very likely that you'll see an instance of it in the monster world. As an example, Cold Island, snow-capped mountains, icicles, frozen ponds, great opportunities for skiing and snowboarding, as we've previously seen during some of our Days of Yay marketing in the past. On Plant Island, huge forests, meadows,
a lot to still explore.
Glades,
too.
yes.
There's a lot of areas still to explore, both by us and probably some monsters.
Yes. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of wilderness associated with the monster world. It's not quite as settled as perhaps the human world is.
I mean, they've discovered several islands over the past few months.
Exactly.
There's always more to find.
The research, the exploration continues.
Rotten Raspberry asks.
Ugh, not the kind of raspberry I like, but a great username.
What happens if the monster gods met their creations?
I perhaps wonder if Rotten Raspberry is referring to the Colossals. The Colossals, those sort of spirits of creation that were responsible for bringing the monster world into existence. As is perhaps the case often with cosmic forces of creation and their creations themselves.
Cosmic forces.
Cosmic forces. Not a huge amount of interaction once the universe is made. It's sort of like, okay, we want to sort of like oversee it, but from a safe distance, not interfere too much in the daily workings of the denizens of that universe. Of course, in the modern era, many of the Colossals are snoozing. They're slumbering. They're in deep, slumberous contemplation. and so not necessarily too involved in the activities or the discoveries of the singing monsters specifically. But if they ever met, I'm sure it would be quite an honor for any singing monster to converse, to interact with the Colossal. And you know what? I think the Colossals would be just beside themselves to meet get a read on what's going on with one of their creations. So Mamet, you're a cold elemental, right? Wow, you're doing a great job. Yeah, that sort of thing.
That's excellent.
There's sort of a reenactment there.
Now, how do you think that relates to Galvana and
another
line of creation?
Right, there's a lot of lines of creation there.
Yeah.
As we know, no interactions yet between any of those electrically minded individuals.
Right.
See what happens. Never say never.
But then we've got the Wobox.
That's
hanging
right.
out on Wobbling Island.
Well, that's true. So there is a secondary level of creation there.
And that seems to be going great.
Yes, one big happy family.
So there you go.
Yeah, not a lot of never pretty much any conflict in the monster world. Everyone's usually getting along. It's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place to be.
Now this next question comes from a pigeon. Normally a fairly small animal, which is why this question is so important. How tall is a wordo?
A wordo tends to be somewhere between the size of a mammoth and an ant rat.
I thought you were going to say 10 feet.
Not quite that tall, but I would put wordos around the height of an average player for the National Basketball Association.
Oh, interesting.
So they're tall. They're taller than people. They're still monsters. You got to remember, they're monsters.
Do you think?
Notably, Sugarbush not as tall as wordos.
Do you think wordos with their strange knee configurations
Yes.
would be better or worse at dunking? Does that give you better jumping?
I think that there's a lot of spring-loaded,
right?
spring-loaded potential there, and I'm thinking of like Talker's legs or Magpie. A lot of spring, boing, potential.
I'd like to issue a challenge to the community, even in the chat right now.
Perhaps a monster piece.
I would love to. Well, that would be excellent.
Yes.
I was also, if you want to include in your monster piece or just put in the chat, I'd love to hear, based on the lyrics that the wordos have, what would their, like when they score, what would their celebration be? What would they say?
I would also like to see jerseys, NBA jerseys designed for
Very
weirdos.
good. A lot to challenge.
I think that'd be great.
Okay, back to the questions.
Yes.
Dr. Flammy Kadri asks, where is Cave Island located in the monster world?
Difficult to say, only because the Outer Islands, of which Cave Island is a part of that group, blipped out of existence at some point in monster world history, somewhere around the time that the continent broke apart and the elemental lands became the natural islands. We do know the rough location of, at this point, both Space Island and Cave Island because of the magical islands that have come to sort of fill those voids with the Titans Krovlaft and Facade respectively, but no word yet on what's going on with Cave Island. The other added wrinkle to this situation about how to accurately geographically express where Cave Island is that because it was previously reached via the teleporter from the plant lands of the continent, it would sort of do the work for you. There were no Google Maps. There was no inputting of directions or coordinates.
That's
the
right.
teleporter would just be like, where is it that you want to go? It didn't give a readout of exactly where it was sending you. You just sort of understood that Cave Island, and then there you were. So sort of unclear at this point how those calculations were made, but we're not privy to them. So we're not quite exactly sure where Cave Island is. If I had to guess, I would say it's subterranean.
Yes, I was going to say maybe a cave.
Maybe somewhere underground. You know, as a cave might be.
Good enough.
Yes.
Ninja Dragon asks, what is Prismatic Mamet based off?
When we're designing the prismatics, what we try and do is we try and perform some sort of stylistic switcheroo of what you're used to.
Sure.
So, as we were talking about earlier, if Mamet is sort of like a furry, Yeti, Sasquatchian sort of monster, representing the cold element, the Prism Gate takes that formula, recombines it at the molecular level, and sort of changes it fundamentally into something that is still recognizably a mammoth, but something's different about it. Sort of like a playful corruption of form. And so Mamet specifically, we tried. Well, what's the opposite of cold? And it's sort of that like molten, sort of rocky quality to it, and that's sort of what inspired the choice to make it the way it look.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Quick interruption of the questions. We have someone's response about Wordo jerseys.
Yes.
Archer likes to do gaming and stuff. So I think their jerseys would be relics.
Oh.
An interesting process.
I would like to. I want to see that.
Yes,
I want to see
I'd
the
love to
art.
see that drawn out.
Or if you don't want to do the art, reach out, collaborate with the community.
That's
Find
right.
someone who does want to
We'd
do
love
it.
to see it.
And you can work on it together. Oh, it'd be great.
Okay, back into the questions. DJ Wubscorp asks, could water turn the rest of Prismatic Mamet into obsidian?
I don't
Getting
even.
very scientific here.
I hope. Well, you know what? Because both of the outer islands that Prismatic Mamet appears on, both of the Prism Gate openings on Party and Cave Island, are surrounded by water. Perhaps we'll get our answer in the wild at some point in the future. I think in the meantime, though, it's probably prudent for Prismatic Mamet to stay on shore and to not necessarily go diving into either the living ocean that surrounds Party Island or the subterranean pool that Cave Island is sitting in the middle of, just in case something goes wrong. You wouldn't want, your flexibility to be compromised because accidentally something cracked into place and you were like, help me, oil can, right? Something like that.
You gotta be able to boom.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be able to. That's fundamental to what a mammoth is all about.
That's right. Rayvon T. Davila asks, do dipsters have bodies underground or something similar? Or are they just a head? I think you've answered.
Yes, they're not just a head.
But they're kind of a tube?
Yes, they look... try and imagine, if you will.
Okay.
Start with an earthworm.
Okay, yeah.
But then shorten it.
Yeah.
Make it less gross.
Give me how much percentage less gross?
Probably about 64% less gross.
Okay, got it.
And make it 100% more charming. And that's
a dipster?
That's a dipster.
I see now.
So
Perfect.
they do have bodies. They can sort of squash and stretch, so far as I know. Very little is understood about the dipsters other than the part that we can see poking up above the ground.
There we go.
And you know what? I think we're sort of happy to leave something a mystery. Sometimes if you know everything about something, it loses a little bit of its magic.
That's right.
Loses a little bit of its allure. Mm-hmm. So I think we're happy to just sort of keep the dipsters as they are and just say, you know what, do your thing there, dipsters.
Well, speaking of mysteries,
Yeah.
Ivan B wants to know, is a spirit, as seen from the statue in-game, a variation of a maw? It seems to contain the mere body shape and big mouth.
Certainly at a glance, the spirit statue looks like it could be depicting a maw, other than, of course, the eye that you see visible on the spirit statue. Very interestingly about the spirit statue is what exactly does its namesake have to do with the statue itself? Because, of course, we do know about famed monster handler Dr. Warden E. Spirit.
That's right.
Who put forward the idea of rares and epics at different times during his studies of the monster world. And it's still unclear to us what ever became of Dr. Warden E. Spirit, but my private theory is that the Spirit statue perhaps memorializes Dr. Warden E. Spirit's visits to the monster world, and whoever was creating that statue didn't have a great eidetic or photographic memory, and was just sort of operating based on sort of secondhand descriptions,
Yes.
going, okay, well, what did he look like? And they're going, okay, I think he had like a beard, big teeth, and they're going, okay, and then they create the spirit statue, and they're like this, and they go, kind of, good enough.
Spirit notoriously did not like being photographed.
Exactly.
So it would be hard
this is a great
you're gonna have to do it
to
from
cross-reference. Exactly. So this is
And
only
we
a
don't know.
cross-reference.
We don't know who created the sculpture. Could have been a monster with less than ideal hands or appendages. That would make sense.
And it's still a valid work of art.
And still a theory.
And that's right.
At
Still an
best.
operational theory. That's only my feelings about it. Who knows? The truth could out one day.
That's right.
But until such time, we're going to have to make guesses. Speaking of guesses, it's time for me to make a guess as to the correct answer of our next segment, which is the Stump of the Week. The Stump of the Week, where you ask me a question, and most of the time I get it wrong.
That's right, as opposed to the other questions, which are just curious and informative. This
yes,
is a
and
trivia question.
Yes, and then I've done some research into try and give an informed answer. There is a correct answer.
A test.
There is a correct answer.
And
here,
they're often
it's a
very
test.
difficult, so
And I'm ready.
we understand why.
I'm ready.
Okay. This comes from Living Person.
Hello.
Good to hear.
Yes.
How many tentacles can we see on Gloptic?
This would have been a great question for last week's episode when we had our firing on all cylinders promotion and Gloptic was 50% off.
Yeah,
but
keep stalling.
But there's no better time than now for me to answer this question. So
Okay.
if I take a quick visual image, and remember, I might be compromised here because I have previously been the recipient of several Gloptical illusions.
Nah, okay, fair
so
enough.
perhaps I remember Gloptic to be something other than it totally is. But for my other Monster Handler research, I'm going to guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tentacles.
And the answer is 14. Stumped.
Yeah. I'm a little south of that, of the correct number. 14, huh?
Maybe that's all you've seen.
Perhaps so. Maybe the
Monster
Gloptical illusions had me totally bamboozled. But what I would like to be bamboozled by instead are the amazing series of monster pieces that we're going to check out this week on My Singing Monsters
That's something
Live,
I'd love to see.
Sent in from the community. Here from UFO, we've got a very lovely Clamble.
Aw.
With some extra long arms, perhaps a little longer than we're used to seeing. I love the stylized here. I like the knock-kneed position of the legs, and I like this sort of colored pencil / pencil crayon texture of the body.
All around, just love
Well
the style.
done, UFO. Love this Clamble. Well done. Next up, from Suzerilia, we have a very lovely Waddle. I think that's Waddle.
Yes, I think that is
With the
very
4 dangling
Waddle there.
ears. Yes, great eye makeup. Great makeup game. Who does your makeup there, Waddle?
What is that, smoky eye?
I'm
no expert.
It's beautiful. You're no expert. You're an expert. Yes, this is wonderful. Very well done, Suzerilia.
Love it.
Next up, we have, from Vision DJ, we have Foregone here on Plant Island, and there's Noggin in the background, going, huh? It's sort of expressing a ... what's going on there. And look, you can see, perhaps that's the castle you can see. There's the flappy flag there on the far left-hand side.
This is very nice.
And this is a very sweet Foregone. Look at that little mouth.
Some nice chompers there.
Yes, be careful. Don't get on the business end of a Foregone, which is pretty much any end that you're facing.
That's right.
From Winged Monster, here we have, a beautiful image of several different monsters. We've got the Pomely, from what I can tell,
But then also-
and Thwack in the
Yeah.
mix too, which has long been sort of an honorary member, at least as far as the community is concerned, of the Pomely. Sort of see them as going together, as being buddies, and I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, quite the opposite. I think that that's great.
It seems like they're all lying on the grass in some nice sunshine.
Yes, a glorious golden afternoon in the monster world.
Very
Enjoyed
nice.
by the Pomely. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Next up from Anamello is an excellent image of Glacier.
Wow.
Why is this timely? Well, what's next month? March. When's next month? In the month of March happening? That wasn't a good sentence. Well, perhaps on
Glacier!
perhaps on Sunday when we tick over to the new month in the human world, there will also be changes coming in My Singing Monsters and Dawn of Fire, our usual celestial change-up. So check it out. Don't tune in on Sunday.
Must say, the symbol in the sky, the thumpy snow sculpture
Yes.
in the background.
So much
and
detail.
the face on the snowball.
Yes.
English. Perfect. All perfect. Love it.
Yes, great attention to detail. Frozen form there twinkling in the sky, and as you say, the snowball's mouth there, bonk, getting struck by the young Glacier. All beautiful,
Very well
all in a
done.
great shading. Also, another excellent
Wow.
art piece here from Cosmic Dragon is a very adorable wisp.
Very shiny.
Very shiny. Look at all
Almost a
that.
balloon-like
all
material.
that
I love
shine.
it.
Sort of reminds me of the shine that you can see on the Big Blue Bubble logo.
Oh, yeah.
Shining all over the place. Well, shine on, you crazy wisp.
Shine on.
It's a beautiful piece of art here from Cosmic Dragon. We love it. Next up from Kono Nugeto Da, here we have Bratbeard.
It's usually
the pirate.
Usually an Brett. This is more like an Empire.
And yeah, well, did you like my joke? I made one too.
Yeah, it was dope.
Instead of Blackbeard, well, there was no reaction from you, so you're trying to bulldoze over my joke. I can't believe this. All joking aside.
I pirated it.
All joking aside, what a great piece of art. This Brett looks pretty unimpressed, though.
That's a toe jammer insignia on the hat. Look at that.
It sure is.
Incredible.
Taken to the high seas.
That's right.
And that's what Entbrat can reach, a high sea.
I gotta say, well, with Entbrat's tendency to scratch its belly, that hook, either good or bad.
Be careful.
Depending how careful.
Be careful. Here from Pure Cana, we have, Ethereal Island, a portrait of all the wonderful ethereals. Certainly an excellent weekend to be showing off this piece of art, since we have several ethereals available to buy or breed this weekend. Rare Nebulab and rare Bellafish.
Some red ones.
Exactly.
Red ones.
I don't understand.
That's making a point.
All right, fair enough. So beautiful. Who's your favorite here in this portrait?
Ooh, I really like Gast. Almost has a child at a booster seat quality of looking up and sort of on its own. I love it. I think that's great.
I like Sox's expression there right underneath the owl of ethereal. Just because the markings around its face sort of have that sort of raccoony quality to them. It looks like it could be glasses as well.
Grumpar also
Very
looking
sweet.
very, very fun there.
Yes, well done. Oh,
Ooh.
Sailor Shrimp, part of the Sailor Force team, I think.
That's right.
Sailor Shrimp has here a beautiful image of rare Geode, and of course the somewhat ominous iPods floating around it that enable it to help. To see conflicts and arguments and disagreements from all possible angles. Sort of freaks some people out, but you know what? It's all in service of coming to an equitable and just decision. Just, don't get too freaked out.
Love it. Again, very nice light work here. Really
Yes,
really
look
adds
at
an
all
element.
of the reflections and the shines on the individual facets of the crystal. Beautiful. Beautifully well done. Here from Shocked Alien, we have looks like a Gast and a Grumpire.
Wow.
Are they locked in combat, or are they performing some sort of ethereal dance?
Yes, it almost seems like a ballet.
Yes, it reminds me of Wally and Eve flying through space in Wally. So maybe they're just having a conversation set to dance, or they're doing an interpretive dance or something.
I love the details coming out of the sides
Yes,
there.
and-
Each respective sort of color
Yes,
palette.
and Grumpire really channeling its shadowy elemental
Kind of
affiliation.
looks like Meta Knight from Kirby.
You're right. And that Gast looks not unlike Gast. All right. Some excellent monster pieces this week.
Very
So
good.
we're very close to the end of this episode of My Sing Monsters Live, but before we announce the winner of our giveaway, we wanted to show you something cool, because not only has this been an exciting week for the My Singing Monsters series of games, it has also been an exciting week because Big Blue Bubble's latest game has entered early access on the Epic Game Store, and that game, of course, is Foregone. Several of the monster handlers who you regularly see here on My Sing Monsters Live have been toiling endlessly and laboriously on getting all the materials set up ready for this game, which is, as I mentioned, in early access. And we wanted to show you, while you're getting in your final, if you haven't already done so, ! Giveaway
This is your
entries
chance.
in the chat. This is your chance. But while you're getting your final entries in, we wanted to show you the beautiful trailer that was created for this release of Foregone. Just a quick warning to everybody that Foregone...
It's a very different game.
Very
from
different game than My
It's
Singing Monsters.
action-packed. There's a little bit of blood on the screen.
A little bit of cartoon violence, perhaps
That's right.
we'll call it. So just you've been warned. Look away if you're squeamish.
not your thing.
But the art and the animation is absolutely beautiful. So why don't you
Mm-hmm.
take a look at this trailer for Foregone?
This world is full of life, full of potential. But now it's under siege, and it's my duty to protect it. I can't let them down. They trained me to kill. But I'm my own greatest weapon. Nothing will stand in my way. Nothing.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Oh, the music,
Oh,
the art.
as fans
Award-winning
of my
music.
That's right. As fans of My Singing Monsters, I think everyone in this community can definitely appreciate the music in this game. It's absolutely incredible.
Very exciting. So it's been a very exciting week for us here at Big Blue Bubble with the release of Foregone in its early access state. We're going to be collecting feedback. We're going to be continuing to work on the game because there's still lots more to come. But we just wanted to share that with you because we were so excited about it.
That's right. And
So-
why don't we share something else with the people at home?
Yes. So what the winner of today's giveaway is going to be receiving, in keeping with the Seeing Red theme here, as exemplified by Monster Handler Eric, is going to be a red Prismatic Mamet. A red Prismatic Mamet.
A red one.
A red one with the, that was the clue that you gave earlier. I finally get it. It's all coming together.
That's
it's all
right.
making sense. Yes. So a red Prismatic Mamet will be yours if you're the following user. Eric, can you give me a drum roll, please? The winner of today's episode 68 giveaway of My Singing Monsters Live is XanderRock98.
Congratulations!
Congratulations, XanderRock98. So please send us your support ID in Dawn of Fire. And that is how you are going to be the recipient of your red Prismatic Mamet.
That's right. And the red one. Very, very cool. I mean, they're all cool, but
They're all cool.
very eye-catching.
So released today. They're going to be available for several days, but you're going to want to make sure that you get as many as you can because these prismatic openings of the Prism Gate far and few in between.
Gotta take advantage.
You got to keep an eye out for them. Thank you so much for joining us today on My Singing Monsters Live. We're going to conclude today's episode, as we always do, with a composer piece.
Yes.
And today's composer piece, in keeping with the Seeing Red promotion again, and trying to keep it all thematically relevant, this is the Ethereal Welcome by UGN 2022. An excellent composition and totally on theme. We hope that you enjoy it. We'll see you next week for the next episode of My Singing Monsters Live. And until then, happy monstering!